How New Balance shoes are made in the factory. You're about to step into the ring and take on your biggest game yet. You're ready to conquer your challenge, but one question remains. Are you wearing shoes that can keep up with your ambition? Think about Sadio Mane's lightning-fast goal strikes, Kawhi Leonard's clutch three-pointers, and Coco Gauff's powerful serves. These world-class athletes may dominate completely different sports, but they have one thing in common: New Balance. Do New Balance focus more on quality over quantity, or are they secretly compromising standards? Let's find out. But before that, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any behind-the-scenes stories like this one. Why are athletes from all corners of the sports world turning to New Balance these days? At first sight, it may seem like an ordinary shoe brand, but there's a twist. It's all about the soles and the careful attention to detail in their manufacturing. How did the precise details in New Balance's manufacturing process play a role in the success of athletes? The mysteries and secrets around the shoe that is sweeping the sports world will surprise you. Back in 1906, New Balance started making arch supports, and they were so good that athletes began asking for sneakers designed just for their feet. But here's the thing, they didn't rush into making shoes right away. They waited until they were ready to take the leap. And when they did, they made a bold move. No flashy celebrity endorsements, no big name partnerships. Their motto, endorsed by no one. Do you remember a time when New Balance used to be the underdog, struggling to make its mark in a market ruled by flashier, more fashionable brands? However, despite intense competition, they have managed to turn the tables. Sales increased by over 100% between 2010 and 2018, despite the athleisure trend taking the shoe industry by storm. So, what's the magic formula behind this sudden rise? Why is New Balance the talk of the town in the sports world? The answer lies in their inventive soles and the careful attention to detail that goes into their production. New Balance is one of the few global brands still dedicated to producing a significant amount of its shoes in the US and the UK. They're popular with both casual wearers and athletes. But what really goes on behind the factory doors? Making a New Balance sneaker is no walk in the park. It's a detailed process with 50 to 60 precise steps spread across 4 main stages: preparation, assembly, initial stitching, and the all-important hand stitching. But the real magic happens at the final stage, where the soles are expertly attached to the rest of the shoe. From day one, New Balance has placed special focus on perfecting this step. It's where the shoe really comes to life. But what goes into creating that perfect pair of shoes? It's not just the materials. There's something much more beneath the surface. The design and planning process at New Balance is a careful fusion of science, art, and athlete input. It all begins with a design team that envisions the ideal fusion of performance and style. New Balance designs their shoes with a deep understanding of the needs of the athletes who wear them. This begins with a close collaboration as the brand identifies the unique wants and pain spots of players from all over the sports globe. This understanding is what motivates their inventions, such as the cutting-edge technologies Fuel Cell and Fresh Foam, which is consistently pushing the limits of comfort and performance. New Balance goes beyond just performance. They recognize that athletes also want to look stylish, giving their best effort. They use modern technologies to create prototypes that are both visually appealing and functional. The journey starts with the selection of materials. New Balance shoes select materials with both comfort and durability in mind. They include premium leather, breathable mesh, and carefully sourced eco-friendly materials. At the first station, skilled workers take center stage, carefully cutting the materials that will form the shoe. Using cutting-edge machinery, they cut everything into precise patterns, and it's all about accuracy here. Once the pieces are cut, the workers carefully fit them together, making sure every detail is spot on. To ensure the spacing is just right, they'll place the material on the webbed surface, make the cut, then flip it around before sending it down the line. The goal? Achieving perfect alignment. After that, it's all about precision stitching. Every stitch has to be flawless, and these workers take their time to get it just right. The shoe begins to take shape with the model and sizing labels carefully attached to give each pair its unique look. The initial stitching station comes next. Workers use a method known as flat stitching in this process, which is essential to the shoe's durability. When making individual stitches, the thread is not crossed or looped. Instead, this stitching method is used because it creates a strong double row of stitches without leaving any raw edges. And that's key because the body of the shoe is where most of the wear and tear happens. Next, the worker carefully places the cutout pieces of fabric onto large yellow pallets. Once everything is in place, they close the lid of the pallet to start the stitching process. Once the stitching finishes on a section of the shoe, the employee sends that section down the assembly line to the next stage. This is where the real magic occurs. The iconic N is stitched onto the shoe, marking it as a true New Balance creation. Now we reach the hand stitching stage, where the shoe's upper is almost finished. But here's an interesting thought. Why is hand stitching still needed at this point? It turns out that this step requires a level of precision and craftsmanship that only skilled hands can provide. And it makes all the difference. As we all know, stitching is a careful process, but what happens when a stitch is missed? In this case, the operator stops the process and hands it to the team leader, who then transfers it to the repairman. The manufacturing proceeds when the repairman corrects the skipped stitch and sends it back into the machine. Then comes the last phase. Complete the sneakers by assembling them. The workers gently pull the upper part onto a shoe last, which is a mold that mimics the shape of a foot inside a shoe to give it its final form. After passing through a small heating tunnel, the upper and sole go into a pressing machine, where they're permanently bonded. Meanwhile, let's not overlook the sole. It's truly an engineering marvel. Ordinary soles can be unsupportive and narrow, which frequently results in foot issues like plantar fasciitis. However, New Balance has made their soles as comfortable and long-lasting as possible, guaranteeing that each step is as powerful as the last. New Balance widens the toe box. The foot is more stable because of the additional space. Additionally, New Balance adds a thick midsole to their sneakers, which improves comfort and absorbs shock. When it comes to the soles, there is no one-size-fits-all solution. Each New Balance sneaker name has a number that denotes the kind of exercise it's intended for and the kind of support it provides. For instance, a shoe with the number 40 in its name, such as the New Balance 940 or 1540, provides cushioning, stability, and control ideal for running. A different number represents a different sole. Before packaging, the team tests each pair extensively, including flex tests and stress simulations, pushing the shoes to their limits to ensure they're ready for the road or the track. There's no denying that more athletes and consumers are becoming aware of New Balance, even though other shoe brands may still dominate in terms of sales and artistic reputation. As New Balance looks to the future, it seems, full of endless possibilities. What do you think about their potential for growth? Well, here's what the CEO had to say about it. Now that we've uncovered the fine craftsmanship of New Balance shoes, let's shift gears and explore the world of luxury. Ever wondered how those sought-after designer handbags are made? It's time to peek behind the curtains and see the incredible creativity and accuracy that go into making these iconic pieces in the factory. But before we dive into the world of luxury handbags, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the journey so far. We've all seen celebrities and influencers on the red carpet and social media show off their stunning luxury handbags, right? The best craftsmen in the world create these high-end handbags, which come with a hefty price tag. So how are luxury handbags made? The first step in the process is for designers to sketch the bag and select the best materials. After creating a prototype, the leather is carefully trimmed. Finally, artisans hand sew the body, straps, and details, ensuring a high-quality, long-lasting product. Let's take a closer look at the step-by-step process that transforms high-quality materials into a timeless piece of art. Step 1. Sketching the handbag. The creation of luxury handbags starts with the design process in which designers and craftspeople work together to shape the materials, look, and functionality of the bag. Designers sketch their ideas, work on the design, and produce precise measuring mock-ups. In order to maintain brand exclusivity and capture consumer interest, they take trends, colors, and styles into account. Selecting the appropriate leather is essential. Artisans choose snakeskin for soft, supple designs and alligator skin for structured bags. Leather craftsmen evaluate the design to determine the best fit for the collection. They also carefully choose the hardware, which can be made of palladium or gold to enhance the bag's aesthetics. Each metal has distinct finishes that blend well with the overall style. Step 2. Crafting the perfect prototype. When making a luxury handbag, the real magic starts with the creation of a prototype. Skilled leather workers or experienced pattern makers turn the creative concepts into reality. At this point, the idea begins to take shape, evolving from paper into the first stages of a real, tangible product. The designer's vision begins to take shape piece by piece as each detail aligns to create the initial version of the handbag. Step 3. The art of cutting. Once the design is approved for manufacturing, it's time to prepare the materials. This stage is crucial since getting the ideal finish requires precise leather cutting, which is not a simple task. With their skill, leather cutters start by picking out the appropriate leather or other materials for the handbag. Because each cut must be perfect, the process calls for a delicate touch and precise technique. Leather is a delicate material that requires cautious handling. It's not simply ordinary fabric. When it comes to high-end leathers like alligator or snakeskin, a single wrong cut could result in a huge loss. That's why these artisans don't simply cut leather. They carefully plan each step to maximize the use of the material. They inspect its texture, ensuring that every inch is perfect, and strategize the best way to shape each section for the bag. It's all about precision and perfection. This is where expertise and experience really shine, since every slice needs to match the design precisely. The prototype's pattern is carefully matched to each piece of leather, turning the design into a real product. It's a difficult process, and only expert hands can guarantee a perfect end result. When it comes to preparing leather for high-end handbags, the traditional method is hand cutting. This approach allows the craftspeople to really focus on the material, ensuring each cut is spot on. These experts handle the leather with the utmost care, paying attention to every detail like symmetry, evenness, and those little touches that make a handbag truly stand out. With their steady hands and sharp eyes, these artisans lay the groundwork for a perfect final product, making sure each piece is cut to perfection. Step 4. Assembling the body and straps. Highly skilled artisans known for their proficiency carefully shape and assemble the body and strap of a luxury handbag. They start by carefully assembling the 5 leather pieces, the front, back, sides, and bottom precisely cut by the leather cutters. The artisan arranges these pieces into the bag's model, securing them at the sides to keep everything in position before starting the stitching process. Sewing each section together by hand can be quite challenging, particularly when dealing with leather, which is a much tougher material compared to regular textiles. To make sure the bag is sturdy and long-lasting, the artisans stitch through several layers while working slowly and attentively. Once the parts are firmly stitched together and the extra leather is cut off, leaving behind the stunning shape of the luxury bag, the design of the bag determines how the strap is made. Usually artisans cut 2 long leather pieces and shape them with great attention to detail. Sometimes they use a technique called cork stitching, where soft cork is used to stitch the bag, giving it a smoother and more elegant finish. Tassels are often added to the sides, and the knots are tied carefully to keep the pattern secure, serving as a guide for the next stages of the process. The attention to detail at this stage guarantees that the bag will not only look amazing, but also last over time. Step 5. Adding the final touches. The accessories and hardware are the finishing touches that truly evaluate the luxury bag, turning it from simply beautiful to absolutely stunning. Artisans handpick each buckle, zipper, and set of feet, carefully selecting pieces that will elevate the bag's overall look. But that's not all. Fabric patterns and distinctive design features are also important. Craftspeople carefully cut the fabric pieces and clamp them on the leather for bags with complex designs, making sure every thread is flawless. After that, they fasten zippers, being especially careful to cut out any surplus threads for a perfect finish. The more zippers and pockets a bag has, the more intricate the work gets, but in the end, it's all worth it. The fine stitching and attention to detail that transforms each piece into a masterpiece are crucial to the finished quality of a premium handbag. And that's the magic behind crafting these stunning luxury pieces. Every detail, every stitch, and every step showcases the talent and passion of the artisans who create them. If you were amazed by the craftsmanship behind New Balance shoes and luxury handbags, smash that like button and subscribe. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for more jaw-dropping factory secrets coming your way. Also, check out our previous video. Ever wonder how low-price running shoes are manufactured? Billions of pairs sold every year. You don't want to miss it.